وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ الَّذِينَ اعْتَدَوْا مِنْكُمْ فِي السَّبْتِ. And most certainly, surely you have knowledge of those among you who transgressed in the matter of Sabbath. فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ. We said to them, become apes abased. This is referring to a group from Bani Israel. That there was a group of Bani Israel that were living by the seashore. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their means of survival basically was fishing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them not to fish on Saturdays. Because according to Jewish tradition, according to their religion, working on Saturdays was not allowed. From which they also took that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also worked wal-iyazu billah 6 days and He rested the 7th day, which was the Saturday Sabbath. But the fact is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need rest. So it is not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rested on that day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He created this heaven and the earth and this world in 6 days, which means 6 period of times. Anyway, so they were not allowed to work on Saturdays. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when these people who were living by the seashore, they started fishing on Saturdays, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them that they were not supposed to do that, and they should refrain from fishing on just Saturday. Rest of the 6 days, you're allowed to fish. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in some period of time, to test their iman and test their obedience to Allah and His messengers, alayhimus salatu wassalam, He made it happen such that on Saturdays, there will be a lot of fish out there. And the fish will be coming on top of the water. So they go to the seashore and they see a lot of fish on top of the water on Saturdays. Rest of the days, they're sitting there with their hooks, with their nets, with whatever they're fishing with. And it's just normal. Normally, as you would get few fish here and there, some fish here, some fish there. So you have to wait, you have to just sit there some time, no luck. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when they saw that we get a lot of fish on Saturdays, the other days we are not getting it, so they thought we need to do something about it. Do something about it, what does that mean? Now they are going to find a way to break the rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the laws of the Shariah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So find some type of excuse for fishing on Saturday, but not call it fishing. So on Saturdays, they used to go and make holes, and when the fish will come into the hole, some type of trap is there in the hole. Some of them, they would even make it like a pond around the shore. So when all the fish will get in there, they will block it on Saturday. Then Sunday, they will go and pick up all the fish. So they used to pick up the fish on Sunday, but trap it on Saturdays and call it fishing on Sunday because we didn't pick it up on Sunday. But the fish, because we didn't pick it up on Saturday. But the fish was trapped on Saturday. You got it on Saturday. The fish wasn't able to go back anymore. So it was really you got it on Saturday. But you are picking it up from there on Sundays. Just like you put a hook, you can say 11:50, you put a hook on Saturday, the fish came in, and then 12 o'clock, 12:01, you pick up the hook. And you say, I picked it up on Sunday. But really you got it on Saturday. So this was, they thought we are using a valid excuse for breaking the law of the Sharia. But of course, it was very clear that they are not following the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they were punished, as the ayah will tell us about the punishment. But before we go into the punishment, let's just analyze this situation that we are studying here, that when Allah orders us to do something and we find excuses of not following the rules, breaking the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just like there is a hadith in Sunan ibn Majah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had forbidden the Jews from eating or from consuming the fat of the animal. So they used to فَجَمَّلُوهَا فَبَاعُوهَا. They used to melt it and sell it in the form of an oil. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursed them because of that something is forbidden, but they are just changing the name of it and changing the look of it, and they would sell it with a different name. So changing the name of things so that we can make it halal. This is exactly what we see happening a lot in our time. When we change the name of things, when we just make it look a little different than what it was originally, and then we will try to make it halal. You go into a lot of things. For example, riba. We try to change the look of the riba and the name of it in such a way that we will then call it halal. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in the hadith, this will happen in this ummah, that people will change the name of alcohol and they will consume alcohol, giving it a different name. Same thing we see in music now, that we don't want to listen to that music, but this is not music, this is daf. Subhanallah, daf, when you hear it, there are 100 daf playing at the same time. This is the concept of daf being halal, allowed, and music being haram. So we are just changing the names of things and trying to make it halal in whichever way possible. This falls under the same category. Although, remember one thing, don't apply the fatwa on your own. Try to get an opinion of an expert in the field. Sometimes things may look similar, but one thing will be halal, the other thing will be haram. So don't confuse that, and don't just start on the basis of this, start applying your own fatwa on it. But at the same time, we should be very careful when we try to just keep on making things halal on ourselves on the basis of this is a little different and this doesn't have the same name. We change the name of those. This is what these people were doing.